So last year, when I first started my business, one thing I knew I wanted to do was connect with people that I thought were, going to be my ideal clients. And I wanted to kind of pick their brain, get inside their head and just understand them a bit more because I wanted to know how to talk to them. I wanted to know how to reach the audience that I desired to work with through social. So it was fascinating because I ended up doing, I think it was like over 75 plus different interviews, connection calls, research conversations, and like video calls and all these things. And I found that the common denominator for women like struggling in their life, feeling frustrated, like feeling stuck, not really knowing like how to move forward or like holding back from things was fear. Fear was the number one thing that was holding people back from moving towards the things that they wanted in life. And so I thought for sure this needs some stage time within this academy, within this program with you, because I need you to understand what fear even is. I found and I'm finding that the reason fear holds people back so much is because it's misunderstood completely. When we get excited for something, when we are moving towards an area that we're so excited and we can't wait to get into, that's also information, right? That's us feeling like I want to move in this direction. Even if we're like, I don't fully know what it's going to lead to, I'm really excited to dive into that. Well, fear is also just information, but yet we create a story around it and we tell ourselves suddenly because we don't know what it's going to lead to, it's bad, it's scary, we shouldn't do it. We hold ourselves back from even just uncovering and discovering what it could be. So I want to give you the idea that fear, all that it is a story. Is just creating this idea of something that hasn't even happened yet. It's creating those worst case scenarios. And in the previous video around leadership, you get to work through those what ifs that are floating around in your head on either side of the spectrum, right? But this is so important to keep in mind in regards to fear. Because when we're creating stories and we're putting things on pedestals, we're allowing it to control us, and we're just telling ourselves, nope, I'm not going to go through that door. I'm not going to worry about it. It's too much for me. I don't want it. I don't get it. I don't need it. But that's completely not allowing yourself to explore life in a new way, to take risks, to try new things, to realize that fear is actually just information. It's a data point. It's telling you that it's something to pay attention to. Because typically, so what fear is it's our ego protecting us. It's our ego reacting to the body sensation that's coming up. So we just need to understand that, and we need to unravel it, and we need to dive deeper into this concept and realize that fear isn't necessarily always a bad thing. In fact, sometimes when we feel it, most times, it's actually a huge sign that that's what we need to move towards, because it's something that we're avoiding in our life. It's something that we haven't healed or worked through, which is why it feels so scary. So it's typically just information that our body is sharing with us on stuff we need to face and work through. So it's really important to start tuning into, what those sensations are in our body, when fear comes up versus excitement, because it's on the same scale, the same emotional scale, just fear is on one end, excitement is on the other. So what's going to be really helpful in this worksheet below is just working through what it feels like in your body when you feel afraid of something versus when you feel excited and happy about something. I really want you to dive into those sensations and understand, how your body speaks to you in those times. And what you'll find in that worksheet is that I also talk about the idea that fear, because it's ego-based, it's protection, it speaks to us very differently than excitement, happiness, our intuition. It speaks very differently. So I explained that in the worksheet, but really quickly, I just want to give you an idea. So fear is going to be something that when it happens, essentially what's happening is it's coming at us very intensely. So it can come on in the feeling of anxiety. It kind of can feel like a gut punch. We start to feel like I don't know, sometimes our bodies can get really shaky and hot. And we kind of are at a loss for words. Our mouth quivers. We start to just feel kind of like caved in. Like, I don't know about you, but anytime I'm afraid or have felt this, I kind of go inward. It's like my body is physically trying to protect me. by moving me inward, kind of creating this shell. But when I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm feeling inspired, typically what happens is I feel more expansive. I feel more like ready to be seen. I feel more expressive. All the right words flow to me. I get hints of inspiration just kind of nudged in, kind of urging me to move in a certain direction out of curiosity, out of creativity. It's very light. It's a lighter sensation on the body. I feel free and open versus really closed and concaved and shutting myself off. So there's two very different ways that our intuition and our fear speak to us. And the reason it's important to understand that is because when you can interpret something as just your ego versus your intuition, you can just say, oh, okay, I understand it's just trying to talk to me, but it doesn't have to mean anything crazy. It just means that my body's trying to get my attention, and it's just speaking at me in a certain volume because it's something that maybe I need to pay attention to more. But it doesn't mean that I need to be afraid of it or view it as something that's bad. So I want you to not only go through the worksheet and just really tap into, when are times you feel intuition and when are times that you feel fear. But I also want you to start paying attention to your body, as you move around this week, the next couple of weeks or forevermore. I just want you to start paying attention to which situations cause you to come in, inward, feel like, just those really intense anxiety-ridden moments versus the feelings that make you feel inspired, moving, like your body wants to move forward, like you feel expansive and light and happy and energetic. I want you to really think about what brings about those sensations for you and really pay attention to the difference. And then once you pay attention to the difference and you understand how your body's speaking to you and when, I then want you to understand what it's even saying in those moments. Like, catch patterns. You'll notice that there are patterns, as you are bringing awareness into these things. You'll notice there's certain times that really create more anxiety than not, or there's certain times where you feel really free, maybe more than others. So I want you to start tuning into, why could that pattern possibly be there? Why could that be a moment where your body, tries to protect you? What's going on there? And by bringing awareness, catching the patterns, asking better questions, we can start to overcome things. We can start to realize that these things actually don't need to have as much of a hold on us because we now understand them and we understand the information that our body is trying to tell us. So yeah, I want you to start doing that this week. I want you to really work through the worksheet, and I want you to see this as just all of this is just information, and it doesn't have to be seen as anything other than that. And it's actually really good. Once we see it as information, we then realize, wow, I have so much more power than I thought I did. Once I understand this stuff, I can choose to feel certain ways. I can choose to not feel certain ways and, live your life.